What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another 7 o'clock premiere. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. We do a lot of stories on crime, and we also do a lot of stories on child abuse. Now, sometimes the stories on crime are about teens and young people just doing some of the weirdest things out here and vicious crimes that are unimaginable. But a lot of times they come from households where they're not really loved, they are abused, they survive to a certain age, and through the treatment they have, a lot of times they're taught to just take, and never taught to give or love or sacrifice to receive something greater than themselves. Today I want to talk about a story out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Shout out Greensboro. And it's about this woman right here. This is one of the craziest cases I've ever covered involving the death of a child. This woman you see up here on TV court was arrested in January of this year. Her name is Keisha Dixon, and I said she's 22 years old. This woman went to court yesterday because she killed a 2-month-old, and the reasons behind her doing this will leave you speechless. Ladies and gentlemen, this woman up here is fighting to get bond, and she was crying in court about how she's not a monster, yet doing some monstrous things to a 2-month-old baby, her son, who died. January 20th, right? Police were called to her home, or her grandparents' home where she was living, her and her husband. This mother of a 17-month-old baby and a 2-month-old baby, when the first responders came to the house, the baby was in cardiac arrest. Died 3 days later. I want you to take a look at the injuries they said this baby sustained and the reason why she did this. This right here blows my mind, but it's a reality out here. There are a lot of selfish people that bore selfish children, and a lot of times the kids don't even grow up because the parents only think of themselves. Take a look at this.
Breaking at this hour, a Greensboro mother facing multiple felony charges after Greensboro police say that she is responsible for the death of her 2-month-old child. Now, this is the Fox 8 4 o'clock news. I'm Chad Tucker. 22-year-old Keisha Dixon went in front of a judge today for a crime police say happened in January. Fox 8's Gretchen Stinger, she joins us now live with more. She was in the courtroom today. Gretchen.
Yeah, Keisha Dixon appeared on Zoom in the courtroom, and her grandparents and her husband were also there on her behalf. We learned through her grandfather, who spoke to the judge, that Dixon and her husband had been living with her grandparents to get some help with child care, and he said this was to help the two parents while they went back to school. In court, we learned a lot of details about what happened to the infant on January 20th. That's when police say this happened. The assistant to the district attorney shared in great detail that this child had been having issues keeping food down. And on the 20th, the baby was crying, and the baby's father was trying to soothe him back to sleep. And while this was happening, the DA's office says texts were exchanged between Dixon and her husband, saying that she was angry and needed attention. Investigators say, according to the text they pulled, she was tired of watching their 2-month-old baby and 17-month-old child. And Dixon suggested to her husband, quote, "Let him cry. I'm being neglected." The DA's office says a little while later, Dixon went into the room that the child was sleeping in alone. That's when her husband shared with investigators that he heard Dixon scream. That's when a 911 call was made for cardiac arrest, saying this baby wasn't conscious. According to court records, the infant had severe brain trauma from skull fractures, hemorrhages, and blood throughout the chest and spine. The DA's office says, according to the autopsy, they also found scar tissue on the baby's ribs, possibly from prior trauma. Dixon now faces felony intentional child abuse and felony first-degree murder. While in court, Dixon raised her hand twice, asking to be heard.
I'm just saying anything, but I would like to at least have a bond. Like, I'm not a monster at all. Like, please, like, I'm not even a criminal or a felon. I've never even been to jail before this at all. Never had a record, never had anything. I've never been even behind in a cop car. Like, I at least just want to have a bond.
We also learned in court, according to investigators, they were also going to charge Dixon's husband. That was until Dixon said herself that he was not involved, and that's when investigators continued to look into it and released him. We also learned that Dixon will be in court next on December 17th. In Greensboro, Gretchen Stinger, Fox 8 News.
Now our attention to crime. A Greensboro mother appeared in court for the very first time after being charged for the death of her son earlier this year. Keasia Dixon remains in the Guilford County Jail without bond. Bethany Cates has been following this story for us for the better part of the day. She's in the newsroom tonight. And Bethany, she did not sit silently in court today. What did she say?
That's right. Keasia Dixon told the judge, quote, "I am not a monster," and she continued to beg for a bond as the judge delivered the details in her case.
I've never even been in jail before this at all. Never had a record, never had anything. I've never been even behind in a cop car.
On Thursday, Greensboro police arrested 22-year-old Keasia Dixon, and she was charged with first-degree murder and felony child abuse, causing serious injury in the death of her 2.5-month-old son.
Those injuries being hematomas, skull fractures. One thing that we discovered once we received the autopsy was also there were some healing rib fractures as well.
On January 20th, the district attorney says emergency crews were called to a home on Gatepost Drive for a cardiac arrest call and found the baby boy unresponsive, and he died 3 days later. Attorneys say prior to the 911 call, there were text messages sent between Dixon and the child's father leading up to the incident.
Miss Dixon said, "Let him cry, leave it there. I'm tired of this. I neglected. You need to pay some attention to me."
The infant was rushed to the hospital in what doctors say was a very critical state. And when they asked the mother what happened, she told them he fell.
From the text messages and things said, well, he fell out of her, but first he fell out of the chair.
The district attorney says doctors were immediately concerned as the injuries appeared to be intentional.
One of the doctors stated that this was not accidental trauma and that the severity of the injuries would have been consistent with him being in a car accident and being thrown outside of the vehicle.
And when Dixon was given the opportunity to speak, she was emotional and pleaded for a bond.
I would like to at least have a bond. Like, I'm not a monster.
In court, it was also stated that the boy's father had no role in the injuries he sustained, and Dixon will remain in jail with no bond, and her next court date is December 17th. In studio, I'm Bethany Cates for WXII 12 News.
Okay, guys, you've seen it. And I gotta be honest, that floors me hearing why that baby died. Now, you had a 17-month-old baby, right? That was already here. Baby was 15 months old when you popped another baby out of yourself, you and your husband. You moved in with your with your grandparents, who volunteered to let you come in their house so you can get on your feet by going back to school, which is no problem with that. You know what I mean? They're helping you. And that's the thing. You had help. You had help. You had another woman in the house that raised children that could have helped you with your anxiety or whatever it was you was with for the most part. When we do these child abuse stories, it's always the same shit. A selfish parent or a parent that feels as though a child is doing something purposely or something like that, and death be the penalty. She killed this child. If you look at this for all it's worth, She killed this child because she wasn't getting enough attention from the man. If you listen closely, the man got up to go get the baby, so he was helping you. She says, let him cry. I feel like I'm neglected. I need attention. Me, me, me. Let me tell your stupid ass something. When you push a baby out or choose to be a parent, it's no longer about you. It's about that kid. Kids cry. Sometimes they cry, cry more than others. But they don't deserve to die. Kids are being killed, ladies and gentlemen, just for instinctively doing what children do. Seriously. People think when they have these kids, they can do whatever they want, or they treat them like pets they don't want no more, or when enough is enough, they just wipe them out. Like ink off paper, or pencil lead off paper. She killed this baby, her baby, for some attention. What did you need? Dick? What you need? Snuggles? You needed snuggle time? You fucking stupid or what? That dude should have tap danced all on her chin. I'm dead serious. Kids are the legacy of people. You go in the room, if you paid attention, the baby was sleeping. She got mad, went in the room and fucked the baby up. Fuck the baby up. Because she mad because she don't have time with her husband that she feels she needs. Make it make sense, people. Then you get in fucking court. It's the part that make me the fuck mad. I'd have showed her the flowers right then and there. You get in court. I'm not a bad person. I'm not a monster. I was only in the back of the police car that one time. Please let me out. Why? She can kill your other kid? Why? I'm a good person. That shit don't pull in court. That shit don't pull in court. I'd have turned the fucking TV off that she was on. Sent her back. Whenever you done the dumb shit, you come back, we talk about this shit. And this the part that's crazy. Where she looks stupid. She ain't even read the room. You up there talking and crying and stuff. You see them people in there? Yeah. Shaking their head, yeah. Shut the fuck up. And they right to do that. Without that dumbass cowardly act you did, that devilish act of destroying, wrecking creation, you wouldn't even be in that position to where these people even know you exist. And that's the problem. Babies do what babies do. Babies don't deserve to die by doing what they do, cry. That's the only thing they can do to communicate. 2 months old. Said he had trouble holding food down. Sometimes babies get like that. But for her, enough is enough. I need you, hubby, in here with me. I need my time. Let him cry. Hootie and the Blowfish. I'd show her the flowers right the fuck now. 22 years old is not an excuse. Bunch of people know how to do the do. They do the wild turkey and pop these babies out like Jiffy Pop popcorn. Then all of a sudden when they hear, they don't know what to do, or they get mad because things ain't the way they was before. Let me tell you something. Motherfuckers act like if they had a baby, the baby come out and they just sit it on a shelf. And in 2 or 3 years, the baby gets up where it's walking and talking, and then everything gonna be normal. I don't know anybody that had a child and at one time or another wasn't frustrated because the child wouldn't go to sleep or they was tired. That's what parenting is. And you knew that because you had a baby before that. You killed your baby in your parents' house or his parents' house, whoever let you stay there. You now, their house of love that they extended to you and the opportunity to come in and build something with your life, you and your crying ass kids, you turn into a crime scene. All the memories now is overshadowed by the death of a baby from the darkness in your heart that you committed in that fucking house. What you think about that? Bunch of stupid stuff. Did you hear the injuries? multiple healing fractures, brain problems, skull fracture, baby injuries consistent to being thrown out of a car in a high-speed accident. Let that sink in for a second. But you go in court and you make this shit all a fucking about you. I need bail. I want to get out. I want to enjoy freedom. I want this. I want that. As a man, would you welcome a woman back that killed your kid? Because I'm going to tell you something. If she was acting needy like that, where she would destroy her own seed to temporarily lay there and be exalted by a man that she claimed she loved, she would have never hurt his child. I would have filed divorce papers already. I wouldn't even have been in the courtroom hearing that shit, because all it did was make me mad. People are fucking crazy nowadays. We look at kids out in the street acting stupid and doing crazy stuff. We say parenting's the problem. A lot of these children ain't being parented. See, the single family home and all that stuff, a lot of people use as an excuse the reason why they kids was bad and all this other stuff. And the kids, when they got older, I ain't have no daddy and all this other stuff. Those type of houses now are being replaced with zero family, what's the word I'm saying? Parenting. Instead of single parenting is zero parenting. Now these kids are just in the house and these people just feed them, don't put no love or energy into them, don't teach them nothing about life, and they go out in the world and we seeing some of the stupidest, craziest crimes imaginable. And it's a problem. You was 22 years old and had 2 babies and a husband. Hell, a lot of women can't even get a husband nowadays because there ain't a lot of good men left. You had one. That man got up out the bed and was willing to go and help that child for you to get some rest, but you didn't want the rest. You wanted to lay up there up under him and act like you ain't never had no kids and just lay there. Let's take it back to how it used to be. Let the baby cry. Now look at your stupid fucking ass. Then you fucking lied. Oh, I dropped him. You ain't drop him. No, ma'am. It's more than that. Bunch of lies you told. Always the same MO. Do something to the kid, bunch of lies. Said she went back in the room and screamed. Ah! That's the shit I don't like. You try to make up a fictitious lie of how you killed the baby when there's so much science and forensics out here that point exactly to what you did, when you did it, how you did it, and then it goes back to you and you say, no. That's like me having this Mountain Dew can and I say, yeah, you touched the can because your fingerprints is on it and the can is all beat up and it wasn't like that when I put it here and you was the only one in the room. No, it wasn't like that. No. Stupid shit. It's like the older people get, the more infantile and childish they are in their hearts and minds. It comes out when facts need to be presented and all the cards are put on the table. She shouldn't even be in court. She'd be in the bottom of the ocean. Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe every day. Potential greatness is wiped off this planet by the very hands of the people that it's their responsibility to nurture and hone on the talents and, build a situation where these children can be profitable. We don't know where we'd be if all these children lived and became responsible adults. We don't know where we could have been in the future and how this child and many other children could have helped humanity. In my opinion, that's one of the greatest crimes against society there is. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.